Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are getting started here, and this will be probably the last episode that's in the game for Brazil. Again, we're probably going to try to work on exploiting the Amazon finished out and populating the Americas, and then we'll end the run. But this is the last episode before the end game, because we're in 1935 now. And maybe we'll be able to get to the end of these by the end of this episode, but I think it'll be a couple more before we actually get there. Let's see. For tech, we're still working on military aviation, and that's going to be able to lock us in to this top spot here. I wonder if... I should check if some of the big markets in the world have got planes already. Let's see. British market does not. French market does not. Oh, interesting. Curious. Hold on, let me sort by... Yeah, no, they don't. That's curious. Any other huge markets? I guess we would check the American and Prussian markets and Russian ones. But I don't think anyone's gotten here yet, so I think this will solidify us. Once we get to military aviation, that'll solidify our position in the hierarchy, in the prestige hierarchy. Yep, I don't see anybody there. All right, feeling pretty confident overall. Let's see, what else does our market need? Speaking of markets, let's take a look at our market. We need lead by a lot. Have I got lead mines queued up? I don't. All right, well, let's go ahead and queue in some of those. Let's see here. Rio Grande do Sul has a lot of labor available, if I recall correctly. And let's start building up. Let's finish building out the lead potential in Jujuy and Tucumán, and we'll build up 10 levels in Lima and 10 levels in Los Rios, and hopefully that'll get us there. That's an additional 40 levels of lead mines. We're at about 10k used, 7k produced, so increasing by 50% will basically get us there, with a little bit of a buffer. So I'm feeling pretty pleased about that. Brunswick is still gone off sideways, but I don't want to involve myself in that. Brunswick is not any of my business. We're here in Brazil. Bureaucracy is a little low. I could certainly go ahead and flip some more of my government admins over. So let's see, Baixo Paraguay, we could definitely increase. Yeah, let's flip them over. That'll increase our bureaucracy methods. This is costing us a little bit of cash, but that's all right. Nowhere we're low on taxation capacity, so I'm feeling pretty confident as a whole. Consumption taxes are looking pretty good. Still generating a very healthy amount of income, even at low taxation, which we are able to live at our present level. Catalan mass immigration. Excellent. I don't know why it keeps coming up with this achievement. I think it has to do with things getting reset during the crashes. Our maximum gold reserve limit is 80. We're now short 100k a week, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to increase taxes right now, because this will keep us going for another... Well, actually, that's only like 50 weeks. No, that's... Hold on. 50 weeks is going to be like 5 million. Alright, yeah, we're completely fine. We're completely fine on that. We can continue to build at our current level without causing any kind of long-term issue. Standard of living is continuing to steadily climb. We're now at number 6, which puts us just above our nearest competitor. The only large nation that's above us is Prussia. We're above Scandinavia, and I'm feeling pretty good and solid about that overall. Prestige is still high, and I think that has to do with... We're now a little bit ahead of Britain, but I think that's just like the amount of time that it takes these buildings to actually hire is part of why that sort of takes so long to get where it's trying to get to. So, what else is new in the market? We are definitely... I'm looking for motors. Here we go. So we're doing pretty well on motors. Engines, rather. And we're still not producing the kind of cars we would like to be. But obviously, trade routes are consuming an absolute metric ton of our cars. In fact, if I wanted... How much am I earning with tariffs? Basically nothing. Alright. How much am I earning with tariffs on foreign car sales? No, nothing. All right. So I was thinking about changing up my tariff policy, but I think leaving it where it is going to be absolutely fine. I almost never need to increase levels of arts academies, but I might. I think we can also produce more hardwood than we're currently producing. I think we can take a few of our hardwood... of our logging industries, if I could find them! My logs! Okay, here they are. I think we could take a few of our logging industries over to intensive hardwood production at this stage. Maybe we'll do, like, all the small ones. Just all the ones that are, like, small and having not very high level and can't grow or higher. We'll flip all of them over to focused hardwood production. That'll make them just a wee bit more profitable. Then we can leave anything that's more than 2 levels alone. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then if the private sector wants to increase hardwood production, it can, and it won't be a problem. I know this is like a weird and arbitrary way of doing this, but I think it makes sense in my dumb, drunk cat brain. So we're going to do it that way. We're going to do it that way, and that's going to provide us with the hardwood that we need, theoretically. I sure do have a lot of logging camps. It's almost like Brazil is covered in forest. Let's go to automatic irrigation. Now, that's even worse for a lot of these things. That's okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's the way of the future. Tea plantations are absolutely goofed. That should add some more demand for motors. How's that doing for engines? Yeah, that's better. Nice. All right, now we can increase the size of the motor industry. I did it. Government management of the economy achieved. All right, let's go ahead and build up some of these motor industries. Let's see. We're going to need a lot more levels of motor industries. Let's put another... Oh, man. I gotta stop concentrating over here. Perfect. I gotta stop concentrating over here around the capital. I really hope the sound is not goofing up right now. Let's put 10 levels in Antioquia. And 10 levels in Guaviare. Alright, phew, we're good. And we'll put 20 levels in Lima. Again, I'm trying to build up Lima. And does Lima have the infrastructure capacity? It does. Antioquia is good to go. Guaviare is definitely good to go. Alright, perfect. Chiang Mayan peasant revolts, not my business. China can deal with that situation. So, we got military aviation. So, let's go ahead and build ourselves some war machine industries. We'll build them in Rio de Janeiro, our capital. We'll spread them out a little bit. 5 levels each in Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and Minas Gerais. And I'm going to put these all the way at the top. And this should be plenty to make sure that we've got all the planes that we need. And what's going to happen... You okay here? There we go. God, every time... We've had so many errors involving that are preceded by the soundtrack getting goofy that every time something goes funny with the soundtrack, I get a weird feeling Alright. So we should be producing huge amounts of, like, fruit and stuff. Is there anywhere we can export all this excess production? I'm just wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling tea right now. America will buy our tea. That's at least nice. What about our sugar? Nobody wants sugar. Gosh. Opium? No, we need to keep our opium in-house, because we use that for our militaries. Alright, everything else is looking good. And for coffee? Nope, still nothing. No one likes coffee in Victoria 3 as much as they loved it in the real world. Back in those days. So, oh my gosh, another revolt happening in Southeast Asia. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I'm here in Brazil. I'm here in Brazil doing my own thing. I'm treating myself. I'm living my best life. Ooh, urbanized Brazil. Hey, we got the urbanized Brazil event in the final year of the game. So this is what you get for building up urban centers in all your states. La Paz has come a long way since our attention was first brought to it, going from small houses and scattered farmlands to being on its way to becoming a blooming metropolis. The woman sighs, her old hands stop crocheting for a second. When I was younger, all of this was farmlands. Us kids would just play freely in the fields, not having to worry about getting hit by a cart or those criminals coming to get us. And we still had time to work. Well, Grandma, now people have even more places to work at. Finally, La Paz shines like never before. 25% loyalists from standard of living increases. Or this is not the end, 33% urban center throughput. I'm going to go with the first one. I like loyalists. I've never found a use for urban center throughput. It feels like services always kind of gets there. Let's take a look at where services are in the market. Maybe this is just a blind spot of mine. Services are expensive in Services are expensive in some areas. Pastaza and Cundinamarca and Accra and a couple of these areas. Alright, so that's interesting. I don't rightly know what to do about this. I don't have direct control over it. I could definitely work on building up a little bit of industry in these areas, but again, the game is not designed for building up industry in everywhere. It doesn't want to spread out industry, it wants to concentrate industry. So I'm not really sure if that's a sensible plan, but it's, we'll see. We're at 8,000 now. I can definitely queue in some aircraft carriers at this point. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got 120 boats, light ships, in the Armada Nacional, and 60 capital and support vessels. Oh, there's the battleship. Wonderful. So we'll put in here 10 levels of battleships, and we'll just put them all in Para. Para is a good place for battleships. And then for carriers, still can't do that because we don't have airplanes in the market. And then over here, so for the Armada Nacional, we're going to be... Okay, we don't have any ironclads anymore. We still got dreadnoughts. And then for the second Brazilian fleet, we'll just build up carriers. And that'll be fine. Finances are doing a little better, which is interesting. Economy is continuing to just shoot upward, which I'm pleased by. As you can see, the private sector is producing a steady supply of all of the tasty, tasty things we want. And the Russians are buying our tea, which is nice. I love Russian tea. I love Russians buying our tea. I'm going to set all of my plantation goods to encourage exports. Because this situation where where we've got heavy tariffs on this stuff doesn't seem to be doing any good. We've got plenty of supply around here. We can always afford to flex upward. I'm just putting a ton of things on encourage exports at this point. I can produce so much more fruit than you can even understand in my current economic setup. It's frankly unreasonable. Wow. Let's export some machine tools. Golly gee willikers. Russia sides with Java, but against whom? Oh my goodness, there's a rebellion going on in Italy. A Javanese proletarian revolt. Can't be bothered. So there's a revolution in Italy, an Italian capitalist revolt. Now that's interesting. Italy is friendly to us, so I could offer to assist them. There are definitely offers they will accept. Let's go ahead and let the game tick over, and then we'll worry about that. Wow, finances are doing really solid. Did I run out the construction queue? No, I didn't. We're still building. Interesting. Yeah, we'll let it go. We'll let it go. We'll exploit the Americas again. There's the Victorian century achievement. Perfect. So, as you can see, we built an extremely powerful Brazil. Music is cut out. I wonder if there's supposed to be music in here. Virtually all the political strength is held by the 60% of the pops in the country who are atheist. Brazilians and Afro-Brazilians are, of course, the majority, about 75% of the country. North Andeans, another 9%. Most of the population are still laborers, but we've got quite a few machinists and clerks, and I think engineers in here. That's what this orange slice is, engineers and farmers. Political strength distribution, it's mostly in the hands of the capitalists, which is interesting. Farmers are the next highest share. Despite the fact that we've gone to universal suffrage, the capitalists still have a lot of the political strength, which is interesting. Farmers have got a bunch, and then engineers and bureaucrats. So these two groups both will tend to align with the industrialists. After that, it's machinists, though, and clerks. Bureaucrats, machinists, and clerks, which isn't shocking. I'm surprised that academics are such a small share. Where are they? Yeah, well, maybe there's just not... Maybe the population's just so low that it doesn't even have a factor. Obviously, the country is extremely diverse. Linguistically, we've got a lot of people who moved here from Europe, and a lot of people that we took over who were speaking other languages and had different customs from us. But as you can see, the economy has boomed under the last 100 years of rule, and standard of living has about doubled, which is pretty solid. Prestige has, of course, gone through the roof as we've gone, and population has continued to balloon. So let's keep playing here. And we'll just move right in. I'll probably break this episode up into two because I think the soundtrack is broken. Unless I can just hit this and get us going. No? Yeah, alright. Let's check out a few things before I sign off this half of the episode and go on to the next one. We do have one more exploiting the Amazon event to proc, so let's go ahead and proc it. Let me just let the day tick over to tomorrow before I do this. Alright, cool. Just want to make sure we didn't get an autosave in there. This is the Pearls in the Rough event in Pastaza. I'm going to say we're the harbingers of order, same as I always do, to get a big ol' increase in migration and traction. And then, let's... You know what? We'll leave the situation in Italy for next time. So I will see y'all again in a moment.